Hello, how are you? Today we're going to do a Cerwin Vega speaker repair for you. We're going to replace the foam surround, which is a very common problem that we see here at the store. This is a Cerwin Vega 12-inch speaker. It's a model L121-4. This model comes out of an older cabinet, U123 cabinet, but it was used in several other models as well. Cerwin Vega makes a lot of products that are very similar to this. The D series cabinet, DX series, RE series, R series, HED series, they're all the same in their design and construction, and they're all the same in that they have this problem eventually with the foam deterioration. We're going to use our 12-inch repair kit for this today, which we'll show you in the close-ups here a little bit later. You'll see how this goes on here like this. And we also sell replacement dust caps for these as well, several different sizes, all with the Cerwin Vega logos. We have gasket kits for them if you need them as well, if the gaskets are not savable or if you'd like to simply replace them. And we have the Cerwin Vega surrounds in all the different sizes. We carry an 8-inch, a 10-inch here as well, and two styles of 15-inch, all the double laminated gray on the back, red on the front, per the Cerwin Vega original design requirements. When we come back, we'll show you how to start cleaning this and get this set up. And all of these parts are available to you on our website at simplyspeakers.com. You can visit there, email us if you have questions, or give us a call, and we'll be glad to help you. Alright, so we're back now to start on this project. We're going to go ahead and clean the speaker, get it ready for the new surround installation. When you buy these kits from us, you will get two foam surrounds in the pair pack kits, and then also a special adhesive that we sell and have actually made specifically for this product. It's a speaker manufacturing adhesive, and we have this tubed for you, so it's easy to use, and you'll have instructions as well that come with the kit, but we also have the videos on the website, so it's nice to refer to those for the detail for these kits. So what we want to do here first is we want to remove the gasket section here that's around the frame. You can see the big pieces of foam that are just pretty much dried up and rotted. A lot of those are just going to kind of fall away. We can just kind of pick a lot of that off and set that in the cone. The key here for the gasket removal though, which is where we normally start as we clean the frame first, is a utility knife like this, and we want to work in to the adhesive and foam area right along the edge here. I'm trying to kind of tilt it so the camera can see it there for you, and we're going to work in here with this blade all the way around the frame, basically turning the speaker like this as we work so that we can remove the gasket. Later on we'll show you how to use the rubbing alcohol to clean the cone, and we'll do the gasket section first and kind of go from there. So we'll start at one particular spot, just pick a spot there, and you work the blade in like this and just start to kind of spin. And I'll try to tilt this up so you can see it. My hand's kind of in the way there. Just work the blade around the gasket like this, a little bit of force, and then it becomes very easy. You can hear that the blade has gone all the way through the old glue bond, and the gasket is starting to lift up easily like this. If you have some areas that are kind of sticking, you can come in with your blade like this as well, and that kind of breaks any of the glue that's in the corner of the frame that's holding the gasket in place. So at this point you'll see the gasket comes off in one piece. There's a little foam residue on the back, but we have a good gasket that we can reuse here for the repair, which is nice. The back of this gasket, of course, will need to be cleaned as well. So we'll come in here and basically just start to peel any of the big pieces away like this. You can use the speaker to kind of hold some of that if you'd like, or sometimes I'll just kind of move the speaker out of the way, and then I'll work down on my bench area here. I'll kind of move this kit out of the way and come in here like this and just kind of scrape and peel the old foam and glue from the back of the gasket section here all the way around. This will take a little bit of time, so just take your time with it. And a lot of times on these Cerwin Vega gaskets, they're just made of a layered paper, so it's easy just to kind of peel the bottom section of paper off, and this is what you're after right here. So we'll finish cleaning this up and we'll come back and then show you how to do the frame as well. We'll clean up our mess here, and then we'll get finished up on that part of it and show you how to glue the new parts. Alright, so we're back and we finished cleaning the gasket up for you. This is the front of the gasket that's got the shiny kind of textured coating on it. So we like to reuse that when we can on these Cerwin Vega models just because it has a unique look and it kind of looks nice and keeps it original. The back has been removed, this layer of paper and old foam. We've taken that off for you. So we're going to just set that kind of off to the side there for now. The next thing we want to concentrate on for the refoaming process is cleaning of the frame. And you can see the old dried residue here on the frame itself, which is easy to remove. What we're going to do is we're going to use a utility knife. Again, it's nice to have kind of a retractable blade knife like this so that you can kind of work in and out as you need to. And the first thing I like to do is come in and kind of just cut and scrape this little inside beveled corner of the frame like this, all the way off. And that gets rid of that entire inside layer of old glue and foam. You'll see some pieces here that kind of come off like that, fall behind the frame like this. So what we'll do here is I keep a trash can kind of handy, just kind of clean that out like that, and you're ready to go. Now we still need to clean the frame here, so what we'll do on that is there's a couple of different ways to approach this, and the blade again works well because you can retract the depth of it, and then come in here and just kind of scrape. And I'll kind of tilt this so the camera can see it. Normally I'll have my hand on the other side here just in case you slip with the blade. You don't want to cut yourself. So you just kind of come in here like this and scrape this all the way around like this. And we'll go one time around the frame with that. What you're worried about here is just the old dry foam. You're not worried about the old glue residue so much. Sometimes the customers will send us photos of repairs that they're working on, and they take Dremel tools and things and clean this, and that's all not really necessary. We just really want to get the old foam removed here from the frame like this. Just kind of a light scraping action all the way around. We'll take care of that for you. And really that's all you need. Okay, there's a little yellow residue left on the adhesive, that's fine. Some little pieces, just kind of clean that up. You might have to go back around the screw holes where the mounts are in the frame and kind of clean that up. If you like, you can use a chisel as well. Sometimes that's helpful to kind of do it this way. All right, but you have to be careful not to slip and cut the cone. Okay. So what we'll do next is we'll show you how to remove the residue from the cone without damaging the paper. And these older speakers are these paper cones like this, but they're pretty durable. As you'll notice here, the cone itself never deteriorates, it's just the foam that has deteriorated here. So what you want to use, you can either use a lacquer thinner like this, or most folks at home will already have the rubbing alcohol, which works very well. So we just keep a jar of that around as well. Paper towel, just kind of dampen this. Soak that right onto the paper towel like this. Fold the paper towel over several times, and you can just kind of dampen this, and you'll see that the old foam just kind of sucks it in. I don't want to go too heavy with it like I just kind of poured it there, but just kind of rub this here like this. Let the foam suck in the rubbing alcohol, and that helps to just kind of liquefy the material. It doesn't damage the cone or hurt anything. You see how it kind of darkens it up there. We'll do a little bit, picking up some of the residue on the paper towel there, as you can see. We'll show you about half of the cone, and then we'll finish it up, and then we'll come back and show you the important part of gluing everything up. See, that does get rid of most of it, but what I like to do is come in here with my utility knife and just lightly scrape that up. You're not cutting the cone, you're just letting the weight of the blade remove the material for you. Okay, you see how that works? Come in right here like this, just gently, all the way around. You see the pieces of foam kind of falling apart there? Again, same kind of thing here. And that's what the rubbing alcohol does for you. Okay, lacquer thinner again does work as well. It's a little stronger solvent to work with in the house, so you certainly don't need to use that. As you can see here, the rubbing alcohol that you have in your medicine cabinet will work just fine. And this is where you're at, okay? This is what you're after, like this. We'll finish up the rest of this for you and get everything kind of prepped, and then when we come back, we'll show you the placement of the new parts with the adhesive. Alright, so we're back to show you how to start the gluing of the new surround foam that you purchase in your kit from us. Okay, this is what it looks like for the Cerwin Vega. Other speakers are similar. The Cerwin Vegas have the red over kind of gray laminated foam. Regular gray foams on other speakers are done the same way in this case. So what we'll do is we'll kind of just give you a view here for the camera to see how we had done the frame cleaning for you. We did the cone with the rubbing alcohol and the utility knife all the way around. Did that a couple of times, but that's what you want when you're all said and done. That's what it should look like. You can still see the dark line of the old surround attachment point to the cone, and that's okay. We're going to be gluing directly to this area. All the old foam and glue, as you can see, has been removed on this Cerwin Vega speaker. So at this point, we'll go ahead and set this just like this. Your surround goes on this way, okay? But what we like to do is put it upside down right on the speaker, just like this. All right, kind of turn it so you can see it. All right, and what we're doing is we're just using the speaker kind of as a turntable to apply the adhesive to the cone. Of course, the cone floats up and down just like that, and the foam surround sits in there perfectly for the application of the glue, which we're going to be doing right here. We want to glue the inside lip of the foam itself, as opposed to trying to put the glue on the cone. In this case, this is an angle attachment type cone. It does not have a flat lip on it. For the type of cone that has a flat lip on it, we like to go ahead and apply the glue to the flat lip of the cone. But with the angle attach, which is pretty common with most of these Vega models, we'll actually turn the foam upside down, apply our glue right to this inside lip here, and then we'll flip the foam back over and lift the cone up to start attaching the two pieces together. Alright, so this is the glue that you get with your kit that comes in there. There's more than enough glue in here. Typically on a 12-inch speaker like this tube will do about 4 of the 12-inch speakers. It'll do 8 to 10 of the smaller speakers depending on how you use it. You want to go very lightly with it. You don't need a lot of the glue. It's pretty aggressive stuff, and you want a nice clean job as well. So go sparingly with the glue. We recommend about an 1/8 of an inch bead here, which we'll show you. The glue comes ready to go in the kit. You just remove the cap. It's got a dispenser tip right here. Just kind of work from the back of the glue and squeeze a small bead about an 1/8 of an inch wide, like this, all the way around the inside lip of the foam. Okay. And with this particular glue, we don't want to spread this with anything like a brush or a swab, Q-tip, anything like this. We like to just use our finger pressure like this to smooth it out. That way we know we've got a nice layer of adhesive there, and that's what you need all the way on the entire mating surface of the foam. Okay? And you see you have a nice shiny all the way around of the adhesive, just like that. Just keep kind of a rag handy here to keep your fingertip clean, and that's all you need to do. Straightforward and easy stuff, no extra tools or parts needed. Alright, so we'll go ahead and lift the foam up now. You let it sit for a minute or two, that's fine. It's still wet and it's still tacky. We just kind of gently lay it down and center it on the speaker frame like this. Alright, and then what I like to do is just kind of put one hand underneath the cone and just kind of lift it up a little bit. Sometimes the customers call and they're not sure why the foam and the cone aren't really touching together. Well, just lift the cone up a little bit and kind of hold it with one hand. That's what I'm doing here, and use the other hand to start to position the foam. We're just going to kind of press it lightly all the way around. We're kind of pushing inward and downward at the same time to apply the surround to the cone. Now it takes a few minutes for this to start to tack up, but the nice thing about this adhesive is it gives you time to set it up, but it's also aggressive enough where you don't have to babysit it for several hours. If you've ever used the white glues or some of these other types of adhesives, they can become a little cumbersome. Alright, they're a little slower drying, actually a lot slower drying, so they become a problem. Now in this case, we like to use this glue because it works well and it works quickly. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and just start working around the cone like this. As you see, I'm just kind of pressing down. I got my one hand still holding the cone up to just kind of keep everything from moving around. Alright, and you'll see it's kind of moving here on us. We just kind of push and tuck all the way around as we're working it. The glue's starting to bite and starting to grip now. Just want to let the foam kind of lay where it does, but you also want to kind of follow the old glue line on the cone as well as best you can. with this, okay? Just kind of pressing down on that. In these other areas here, if you need to, you can kind of lift up the foam and kind of push it down like you see me doing here. Okay. Get that tucked down. Again, I'm just following the old glue line here. Get a little bit on your hands, keep your rag handy. Alright, you can see it starting to grab now. Get a nice even line all the way around on the cone that you can see here. Alright. This part just takes a little bit of time. This is kind of the tedious part of the gluing job is the cone attachment. And this is the one you want to take your time with and kind of pay attention to when you're doing it so that you kind of have everything centered on the cone properly. So we'll work this down onto the cone. Here we're going to let it set up for about an hour. Once we get it going here, we'll make adjustments as necessary on this. And when we come back, we'll show you how to do the frame as well and reinstall the gasket. Alright, so we're back. We've allowed this to dry to the cone for about an hour. Alright, hour to 2 hours is what you want on that. Just to be safe, you don't want the parts to kind of move and shift around. But within an hour, it's about as dry as you need it so that you can do the final glue up to the frame here. Alright, you'll see that we have the foam surround evenly attached to the cone all the way around. Alright, on this Cerwin Vega. Now, you'll notice here that we can just lift the foam up here along the frame to apply our glue, and that's what we'll show you, just like this, all the way around. Alright, we've got a gasket we'll be putting back on here as well, and we'll show you that. And then at that point, after that glue setup time happens, it's another hour or so for dry time, and then the speaker's ready to reinstall back into the cabinet. So we'll go ahead now and we'll just kind of give you a feel for how the centering takes place. You don't need to remove the center cap and put shims in here for centering of the speaker. That certainly works fine with other types of kits and things out there that use some of the slow dry white type Elmer's type glues, but in the case of our adhesive, it's a quick enough set adhesive, and we'll find that you're just as accurate with your centering by doing it kind of the hand way. There's a sweet spot here that's very easy to find. As you can see, just basically the surround being installed on the cone at this point, the speaker is centered up very nicely without any effort at all. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and apply a bead of adhesive right here, right onto the frame. We'll just start at one point on the frame, about 1/8 of an inch bead between the frame and the foam. Just kind of lightly squeeze the tube like this, one time around. And you can see we have a nice wet bead there. Don't really need to smooth that out or get your fingers dirty with that at this point. You can just press down on the foam, just like this. And what that does for you is it provides a nice thin film of adhesive all the way around. So it's really easy to do. You don't need to get in here with your fingertip. You don't need to get in here with any types of tools to spread this out. The adhesive has enough kind of runniness to it so that it'll do that for you just simply by pressing the foam around as I've shown you there. So we showed you earlier how exercising the cone centered the whole assembly up very easily. Now we have the glue in place. So again, we're going to kind of work on this, and I'll tilt it so the camera can kind of see this here for you. You'll notice that you can move the speaker side to side or front to back. All right. Now, what will happen is you want to kind of be pressed down on the center like this. All right, so we don't have any rubbing when we press on any of the 4 points like this. All right, you don't want to work the speaker too hard, just gently is all you need to do. And the adhesive is starting to kind of grab a little bit on the frame now. So I'll show you that we come in on top of the foam. You'll see that it's starting to lay down nicely now for you. We'll check our centering again, just like that. We'll kind of check it and work it around the frame as many times as necessary for the glue to start to set and to allow you to center the cone. If you find at this point that you're off center, if you have a little rub when you press down here, you can move the speaker in the opposite direction just a little bit, all right, by simply kind of pulling on the foam like this, all right, as needed. In this case, we're pretty well set. with the centering because it's very easy to do. And it centers itself pretty much automatically because the support of the surround is now in place on top of the cone the way the speaker was designed. And that's the beauty of the entire repair kit without having to take the center cap out and shim it. And the results are just as accurate and much faster, and it allows you to keep the original cap too. Now in the case of them coming into us, or if you have these where these are damaged, we do have the caps for sale in various sizes for the Cerwin Vegas, as we showed you earlier in the video. So if you need them, we got them, but for a simple refoaming process, when the cap is in good shape, it's not required to remove them at all. And you can tell here when we move the cone up, we're giving it equal pressure with both hands from underneath. Kind of turn the speaker 90 degrees and do the same thing. And that's what you want, all right? And all speakers are built and made the same way. So you can center them up easily, just kind of working the speaker here. There's no scraping of the voice coil, and this is just as accurate as if you had taken this out and put the shims in. So that is not needed at all. We do get a lot of questions about that here at the store, and it's one of those things that certainly does not need to be done for an accurate repair. We've been at this for over 20 years, and this works perfectly every time. And we sell a lot of the repair kits, and the customers are very successful with them using the same method that we use here at the shop. Now we'll let this dry up for about an hour. Everything is centered and moving nice and clean, perfectly, all the way around. There's no rubbing. Checking the 4 points of the speaker, just like this. Everything moves nice and easy, forward and backwards. We'll let this dry for about an hour. We'll come back and we'll show you how to install the gasket. And then at that point, the speaker is pretty much ready for reinstallation into the cabinet. Alright, so we've shown you the glue up to the frame here. We've allowed this to dry for about an hour or so. We'll go ahead and replace our gasket now. We'll show you that, which is very straightforward. If you've gotten this far with it, the gasket's not a problem. We just want to show you again that the centering has held perfectly for us, both in the upstroke and in the downstroke. No matter where the speaker cone is pushed, we have a nice centered voice coil, and that's the key to the whole repair. We showed you earlier in the video that is very easy to accomplish once the surround has been installed to the cone and is supporting everything properly so that it moves as a true piston. Alright, now with the case of the Cerwin Vegas, you'll notice they have cutouts on a lot of these old ones for 8 mounting holes. Alright, but they only use 4. So the gasket that came with this is a 4-notch gasket. Now what I like to do before I take them out is, of course, we always kind of pay attention to them. But they're mounted with the screw holes like this, so when you replace your gasket, make sure you pay attention to that so that when you put it back in the cabinet, you have this going on versus this going on, okay? So what we'll do is we'll apply a bead of adhesive right to the frame itself is fine. If you ended up damaging your gasket, or if you purchase gaskets replacements from us that look like this, these are the 4-piece gaskets. They do have an 8-hole notch in them. So what happens with these is those can be placed around the frame just like the original gasket, except it's in 4 sections. We normally don't use the new gaskets on them because they're not as pretty as the textured vinyl coated gaskets that Cerwin Vega uses, so we try to reuse those. But in many cases it's not possible, so we have to use the new gasket on them, which gives you that look. Now in this case it doesn't matter about the holes, you're still going to use just the 4 mounting holes in the frame on this. But with this case, we're not going to use these. We just wanted to show you that they are available, and we have these in all sizes, 8-inch, 10-inch, 12-inch, and 15-inch for the Cerwin Vegas. We're going to go ahead and replace it with the factory gasket, which is in perfect shape, that we removed earlier in the video. So we'll use our same glue again. We'll apply a small bead of adhesive right about in the middle of the area of the frame there, right on top of the foam that we just installed. Just like that. Alright, that's the look you want with the glue. Not too heavy. About 1/8 of an inch bead all the way around. You don't need to smooth it out, brush it out, paint it on, or do anything like that. Just go ahead and apply the bead there and let it sit for a moment or two. And then we have the gasket here with the 4 holes. We're going to set that right in place. Line that up with the 4 mounting holes that you can see kind of through the edges of the new foam there. You have your holes here, 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 and here. Alright, that's it. That's what you want there. We're going to go ahead and flip the speaker after a moment or so here. Once the adhesive starts to kind of grab, you can kind of hold this down, just kind of press this in place, and what this does is it spreads the adhesive evenly around the surround for you. Makes a nice strong bond there. When you reapply the speaker into the cabinet, your screws will just kind of puncture the area of the foam right across the screw hole here. That's not to worry. You don't need to cut that out or notch that out in any way. The screw will go right through that area, through the mounting hole, into the cabinet, and tighten that down properly, just like the originals were done. So don't worry about trying to notch these pieces of foam out. The screw will go right through that once everything is allowed to dry and cure for an hour or two. So I like to just kind of hold this like this. We'll flip the speaker over like this, and what I'll do actually is I'll kind of pick it back up so I can turn it and show the camera here. You've got your hookup points here, your minus and positive connections right here. You'll notice on Cerwin Vega they always put a little red dot right there. All right, that's where your positive wire goes. Hopefully you paid attention when you took them apart to see which color wire came from the positive side. In the case of Cerwin Vega, it's usually a red wire. Other brands of speakers use different colors, schemes, so you always want to check that before you take them apart. And we do mention that to you in your instruction kit that you get with the foam repair kit that you buy from us. We have all the Cerwin Vega kits available for you for these different sizes, and we also sell repair kits for all other brands of speakers. If you need us to do the work for you professionally, we're here for you. That's what we do. We're glad to take care of you. Just send them in. Our website is simplyspeakers.com, and if you have any questions, just call us or email us, and we'll be more than happy to help you out.